You may be wondering what On Your Hands is. I got you, and I can think of no one better to explain this game than my friend Frogwater.
On Your Hands is an indie horror puzzle game developed by Skullcrusher and published by Skeleton Studios. It's their first game. You are Prot, a scientist who has found himself and his lab partner Mac on another planet you call Ubulterra after experimenting with teleportation tech back on Earth. As you progress, you discover what led to the destruction of the Ubulterran race and reflect on your own past mistakes. The first thing you'll likely notice about the game is the striking visuals, a polygonal art style with otherworldly and unsettling textures. That, combined with the fun sound design, really makes the world feel hostile. I'm a wuss when it comes to horror games, so I definitely felt the atmosphere. This really got me during the monster encounters, and I won't be forgetting any from this game anytime soon. Now, I did mention earlier that this is a puzzle game, and it's what you're going to be doing throughout most of the game. Good thing it's a pretty damn good one. Some solutions might feel a little obtuse, but most of the time, they're tight and demand you call upon previous info from the game. They are really satisfying, giving off that eureka moment essential to the genre. Even the monster encounters have puzzle elements to them, and I believe it strengthens them. On Your Hands is a wild experience. A demo is available on Steam if you'd like to check it out. You can also check out my channel for a longer video.
Frog makes amazing, silly little video essays and game reviews. Check them out, seriously. They already have a good video reviewing On Your Hands, so instead I'm going to be explaining the patch 5.95 speedrun. This is the current patch of the game where some major skips were patched out from the previous version 5.9. Mainly the map 6 to map 16 skip that allowed episode 2 and 3 to be skipped was patched out. Removal of this skip has developed this speedrun and made it super interesting. I will have links in the description to the unedited current world record for this patch and the old patch if you are interested. Now, let us get into the speedrun. After skipping the opening dialogue and getting flashbanged, I immediately head to the building on the left. In the building is a key that will be used on the totem by the water to activate a bridge. You need to have cinematics disabled in the settings, or you will get an animation of putting the key into the totem losing time. Across the bridge is the standard path, but we can use the bridge to jump to the other side of the plants that block you from falling into the water. I can follow this path down and perform a jump around this tree to skip most of this map. Mac is a character that interacts with Prod on the radio throughout the game. She starts talking around here, but I'm going to skip it. Whenever she is talking, the game will not transition levels, but the developers were kind enough to put a keybind to mute Mac. Now I can make my way to the end of the map, leading to the next map, crossing the threshold. This map introduces a new mechanic that will become very useful to abuse throughout the run. After jumping on the falling bridge, I land down below into this cave and get the first type of magic, purple magic. This magic allows me to teleport within a given range. The laser that extends from the finger shows the path that the projectile will travel when fired. When I see a purple fellow at the end of this path, I know that I can teleport to that location. Every time a projectile is fired, Prot loses a use of that magic, which is displayed. After grabbing the magic and finding out Prot is left-handed, I turn around and teleport over to the next large platform. Once I get to the top, I continue teleporting until I get to the gates where I refill my magic on the purple magic totem. Then I jump to the left of the gate and teleport to the other side. I will then perform another jump, teleporting to a platform on the other side as well. The second teleport is a little trickier, but it is generally faster to skip a puzzle in the game than to just do it. From here, I can teleport along the normal way, making my way up to the other side of the canyon. I enter a building and exit out the back, leaving to the next map, sink or swim. After loading in, I grab the key and strafe jump before landing on the lily pads last second. These pads slow you down and prevent you from jumping, but by strafing, I'm able to maintain my velocity for a bit. I perform a movement tech here where I jump on the lily pads as they are coming up. This launches me into the air, but I don't know if it's actually faster. It looks cool, so honestly, who cares? This tech was found by MyDef, but she also found another bug that I want to mention. There are jump bugs after the key totem in this level that you need to jump across to progress. These bugs act like trampolines, so by landing on them and then jumping at their lowest point launches you into the air. There's a glitch with this bug where after landing down below on the bug, you can jump back into the platform and get a mega jump. I don't fully understand this glitch, so in this run I don't use it, but it is also cool. Instead, I jump with the bugs like normal and pick up the key before jumping back. These jumps are deceptively hard when speedrunning. This is a big reset point for some runners, but I managed to not slip off and make my way back up to the lily pads. I use the key on the totem and grab the yellow magic that is used to activate certain objects like these totems. This will bring up platforms for me to cross as I make my way to the end. After slowly walking across the pads, I leave this map heading into the next map, Insecurity. Leaving the forest, I head for the security hut and open the door to the lab. After entering the lab, I use the terminal to open the next door. If you've ever played a Fallout game, it is a similar concept. Now, in the lab proper, I make my way through to a blocked passage, but using yellow magic will bring it down. I grab the single-use purple magic before waiting 3 seconds before teleporting across. This will allow me to grab another charge of purple magic before the teleport happens. Now I can teleport to the end, skipping the robot that kills. I transition to the next map to Lead or Wonder. After the load finishes, we find out Prot has a right hand. Prot having 2 hands is a game mechanic, but I'm going to use his right hand to teleport past a wall. The machine is on the other side of this wall, and by putting myself into this corner and aiming around here, I can teleport to the other side. We are not done teleporting as I line myself up to shoot a bolt of magic to the other side of this door. This skips to the end of the map so I can end episode 1. Every time there is an episode end, there is some dialogue that accompanies it. This dialogue is skipped while I reposition the mouse to hit continue for when it appears. After hitting continue, I arrive in the next map, A City Asleep. Map 6 is the central map of this game. Every episode links from or back to this map, but for right now we are heading towards the Rainbringer statue. In the city, I use the bench to jump up onto the power line. This does not skip anything, but is just simply a faster pathing than going around. Walking along this pipe, I can head straight to the giant worm statue where I can place the first battery. I did not pick up the battery in the last map, but it does not matter. The battery can be placed without picking it up, so if I don't need it, then why waste time grabbing it? Placing the first battery is done, so when I load back into map 6 later, I am loaded in next to the Rainbringer statue instead of the very start. There are also totems for each magic type at this statue. The corresponding magic only appears once you have attained it in-game, so for right now we only have yellow and purple. This will fill up more later, but for right now we want to make our way to the next map. I make my way back to the start of the level where the crane is located. I use 2 teleports along the way because it is faster than walking, but we will need some teleports for crane skip. Only 2 are needed, but having 4 makes it easier and allows for more mistakes. I climb up onto the crane to jump onto the power line that connects to it. Gaining more height on the line, I look back towards the crane and teleport onto it. After teleporting onto the crane, I teleport further down the crane. Inching forward after the teleport, I can get into range to teleport onto the roof of the theater. From this roof, I can head to the left and drop down past the barrier that blocks the way. There's a puzzle to have the crane move the barrier out of the way, but we just use the crane in a different way. Now I make my way into the next map, Secrets of the Church. This map is pretty straightforward. I enter the church and go to the first puzzle. The key is picked up before being placed in the totem to open the door to enter the library. I grab the purple magic and stand on the pressure plate. This opens the door so I can teleport to the other side. I then grab the yellow magic, stand on the pressure plate, and shoot the magic into the totem across the way. As I leave the room, I grab the purple magic again for later. The totem I activated in the library opens up another door leading to the second puzzle. In this room is a box that I shoot. These boxes, when hit with certain magic, will redirect it in the direction the box is facing. In this case, it hits a totem that is blocked, but when activated, opens up this crate thing to show a new magic. Indigo magic, not to be confused with blue magic, is used to pick up certain objects. In this case, it is used to pick up the box and move it over to this next open crate after rotating the box once. You can only have 2 magic types at once, so when I grab the indigo magic, it replaced my current hand, which was the yellow magic. Now I need yellow magic, so I turn around and head to this crate that has the magic I need. I shoot the box with yellow magic to activate a totem that allows me to leave the room. But before I leave, I grab the indigo magic again to pick up the box. It is needed to get back into the main room because when I entered the room, a door closed behind me. I place the box on the pressure plate to open the door and I exit to the main room. After getting past the door, I turn around and pick the box back up with the indigo magic and place it on the first of the 3 pressure plates. These plates open up a secret passage, so I need 3 boxes to be able to leave this map. The second box is easy to grab as it is just sitting in the open over by the choir area. I drop it down on the middle plate before standing on the last plate to activate the hidden passage. Instead of going to grab the third box, I will use that single-use purple magic I attained earlier in the library. Once the passage is open enough, I teleport down into it and leave to the next map, Unquestioned Ethics. I grab the single-use purple magic and wait 3 seconds so when I teleport I can grab another. With this extra use, I can teleport over to this platform and grab this purple magic, skipping the first puzzle. With 2 uses of purple magic, I can teleport over to the second puzzle of this map. Once at the puzzle, I can use the second teleport to get to the other side of this block passage, skipping this puzzle as well. There's another purple magic totem for me to use to get over to the third and last puzzle. I'm going to use the same purple totem tech from earlier to get 2 uses out of this 1-use purple magic totem. With this extra purple magic, I am around this hole next to the door to teleport to the other side. I'm slow at performing the skip in this run, but it is faster than performing the puzzle when the skip is done correctly. From here, I'm able to leave to the next map, Chase and Sequence. Purple magic has been the main component of skips, but this map really restricts what we have. There's only yellow magic and a sprint totem, so the puzzle maze needs to be done. Here is an overhead view of the maze with each colored totem that needs to be activated. They need to be activated in a specific order of green, blue, purple, red, yellow, and lastly orange. I just think it's a little hard to follow, so an overhead map can be more digestible for people. In this map, a grinder enemy is supposed to be a threat while doing this puzzle, but I just go so fast it is not an issue. The grinder only spawns in after a certain time, but this time seems to be tied to something weird. I have seen the grinder spawn in earliest at 1:40 and latest at 2 minutes and 30 seconds. This is not too much of an issue as this map can be beaten easily with proper routing and around 50 seconds. However, what can become a problem is if you mess up the order. Hitting the wrong totem will reset all the totems, but also spawn in the grinder regardless of the timer. It is best to get the map right on the first try. After hitting the last totem, the door at the start opens, so I can make my way back there. I will leave this map, heading to the next map, Abduction Induction. Leaving the underground, I make my way to the abduction beam from the spaceship to get beamed up. Immediately, I head out to the left to grab the indigo magic and then make my way into the room on the right of the ship. I grab the yellow magic before switching to my left hand and jumping to this part in the floor with the hole. From here, I can grab this box without having to do its puzzle. Jumping back, I make my way to the main room where I place the box on one of the 2 pressure plates. Turning around, I shoot the totem in the previous room to deactivate the blue field for the next room. Blue fields remove the magic on your hands whenever you go through them, and we need the yellow magic here. Quickly, I start to solve this puzzle by grabbing the blue magic and placing it in the 3 spots. Blue magic places these ice traps on the ground that can freeze magic projectiles. I re-obtain the indigo magic and shoot at the box with the magic, but it gets frozen by the blue magic. The second ice spot is to stop the indigo projectile from picking up the box too early when I hit X to unfreeze the projectiles. Then, I freeze a yellow projectile, but this time aiming at the activator totem. I hit X when I'm about to get around the bin to send both projectiles forward. Indigo is stopped, but the yellow magic hits the totem, opening the door. I stop the indigo magic as I can't get the box just yet or the next door will close on me, locking me in here. Once I am past the door, I unfreeze the magic and place the box on the second pressure plate. I can enter the deck of the ship where I interact with the terminal to end the second episode. Just like the previous episode, I need to spam through the dialogue and hit continue to be brought to the next map, Crash Landing. As you can guess, the ship has crash landed in front of a weird hive. Matt gives me a voice line that prevents me from interacting with the terminal, so I'm spamming M to mute her and E to interact with the terminal. Once the terminal starts to come up, I spam the Z button. This terminal wants you to cut wires, but there's no correct order. I want to cut the first wire to instantly fall and not delay it. Once down below, I can leave the ship and make my way into the hive. This is the second worst part of the run, not because of any reset point, but you just walk. I make my way into the hive and continue walking. I walk all the way to the end to grab this yellow magic. Now, I walk all the way back towards the entrance with this magic. This time, I take the path to the right, following the line along the ground. At the end is a generator that I can activate with the yellow magic. Once I activate it, I have to walk back to the entrance where I hop on this elevator. I wait on the elevator until I hit the level transition trigger, but I do try hopping on it at the right moment to hit it early. When I hit it, I am brought to the next map, down to size. Once loaded in, I wait for the elevator to finish taking me to the top. I jump up early onto the platform and grab the red magic. This magic allows you to decrease and increase the size of objects. It is the only reason we went through maps 7 to 11 because we can use this magic for a skip. I back out to the main menu and load back into map 6. In map 6, I load in at the Rainbrainer statue where I grab purple magic. Then, I grab blue magic and put ice on the ground before grabbing the red magic. I shoot the red magic through the ice and position myself in the projectile's way. This allows me to change prot size. I increase his size by 1 before heading to the weird hatch that blocks the way to map 21. Aiming the purple magic at the edge where the hatch has a hole in it, I can line myself up and teleport down below. Prod is canonically 5'11", so I could not have hit the trigger if I teleported down here from the start. Sizing him up makes his height be over 6 feet, and I can now jump, hitting the trigger for the map transition. This skips a majority of the game to the second to last map, Penalty Mall. This map has 2 floors with 3 puzzles per floor. Doing all these puzzles takes some time, so instead I'm going to be skipping them. On each floor is an air tunnel that needs to be deactivated by completing the puzzles for that floor, but I can just slip right past them. This first air tunnel is not hard to get past. First, I grab the purple magic and make my way to the air tunnel that prevents me from getting to the next level. Lining myself up on the edge, I aim towards the bottom edge of the tunnel and teleport. The air can affect projectiles, so I need to line up my teleport correctly. Once down to the second level, I go through this blue field in front of me. I grab the indigo magic and pick up the box. With the box in hand, I look down and go through the fields backwards. These fields block the box from being able to leave the room, but doing this backwards allows it to get through. Now with this box, I start indigo surfing. By looking down and pushing the edge of the box under prot while moving forward or forward to the side, I can surf with it. When using the forward and to the side method, you gain way more height. This can be useful when height is needed, but in the mall, height can hurt us. Instead, I only hold forward so I go fast while gaining less height. My surf is not the cleanest, but I'm able to get to the second air tunnel that leads to the end level. To bypass this tunnel, first I jump up onto the edge of the tunnel. On the edge, I just drop the box on my head, and I can walk off without being pushed up by the air. Super easy skip, allowing me to enter the final map, On Your Hands. This part of the speedrun is the most boring. I grab the sprint totem and make my way to a certain spot in the maze. This maze we're in is very small, so the devs compensated by making it seem bigger with a teleport before the exit. The teleport disappears when the corpse spawn does a third voice line. I sit right in front of the teleport and wait out the voice lines. This eats up around a minute, but what can you do besides complain? Here is the first voice line. Now the second voice line. Once I hear the third voice line, I sprint knowing the teleport is gone and I can make my way to the bigger section of the maze. This gives me Maze Runner vibes, and I would kill for a good Maze Runner game. Just like in the Maze Runner, there's a creature at the end of this maze that is trying to kill us. This is the Corpseborn, and it blocks the way to the end of the game. I head to the left where a terminal puzzle awaits me. There are 5 debugs we need to answer correctly to be able to open the door. The colors are always in the same order of red, yellow, green, blue, and indigo. What is not the same is which terminal the current debug color will appear on. After starting the debug process, I need to find the flashing terminal and move to it. I make my way to the first terminal and enter the debug option. The answer is always the same, but where the answer will appear in the terminal is random. I am able to quickly pick out the correct answer by memorizing only a part of the answer. For the first red terminal, I look for a single underscore in the first half of the debug option. After answering a terminal correctly, that terminal can no longer appear as a debug terminal. Knowing which terminal you have already answered is also necessary to make guesses on the terminal that will be next in the debug process. After each terminal, I need to make my way back to the main console to activate the next debug step. I will go over the next debug codes quickly so as to not waste time. I answer the yellow terminal by looking for the 2 @ symbols. Next up, the green terminal's answer contains 2 up arrows. The blue terminal has 2 semicolons in the answer. Lastly, the indigo terminal has an underscore I look for in the first half of the debug option. After the indigo terminal, I make my way back to the main console for the last time to open the door. Once it is open, I sprint through and hit the blue puddle to get rid of the ghost effect. Don't worry about the ghosts, they are irrelevant. I also hit a trigger while removing this effect, and some indigo magic has appeared at the entrance to move a turret that is blocking the door. I grab the indigo magic before going back for the door of the blue puddle and heading up to the large turret. There are 2 large turrets that are used in killing the Corpseborn. We are not going to kill it though, and instead skip it. The skip is easy to fail, so I shoot the big turret to get a checkpoint before picking it up with the indigo magic. I want to get to the other side of the wall where there is no invisible barriers blocking the door to the end. To achieve this, I indigo surf twice with the turret, but in a different way. I make my way into this corner and I push myself into the wall of the turret by indigo surfing backwards. Then I drop the turret before picking it back up and pushing myself out to the other side of the wall. The corpse spawn has a lot of projectiles that are instant death if they hit you, so where I come out of the wall is important. I need to make sure I land on the other side of the rock column, blocking the orange magic. You don't want to know what orange magic does, trust me. When done right, I can land down below and just outsprint the bullet hell of the corpse spawn. At the end is an open door. I can't believe the devs just left the door open. Turning the corner, I see Mac's body and I go up to her and hit E to interact. The run is over after interacting with Mac, triggering the endgame cutscene. Bonus explanation, because the two any% patch runs are very similar. In patch 5.9, the map 6 to map 16 skip is still in the game and it makes a huge difference. The skip is done with the same crane skip from earlier. Instead of heading left on the roof, we want to go to the right towards map 16. For Windows runners, you have to go around to the left as there is an invisible wall that blocks your way on the roof. Linux runners, they don't have to worry about the invisible wall. I am happy for them. In this run, I head around to the left to get past the wall and make my way down to the map 16 transition. I make my way through the graveyard to the first button. This will open a door that was previously closed that leads to the first puzzle. We don't have to worry about puzzles as I put Indigo magic in a box next to each other. As you can guess, I Indigo surf, but I am not heading to the end of the level. This map has a very interesting out-of-bounds area. After flying through the air, I land down to a set of gravestones. These are the developer gravestones, and James's grave has functioning magic totems for every magic in the game. The totems may be small, but they still work, allowing us to grab red and blue magic. Now these two magics will appear at the Rainbeater statue without us having to go through episode 2 and parts of episode 3. From here, the runs are the same. We head back to map 6 from the main menu and skip past the hatch the same way. This is the only difference between these two runs, but it makes up for almost 4 minutes of time save. I usually make Dark Souls content, but I wanted to branch out and cover something else for once. On Your Hands has been an interesting speedrun that I've been enjoying recently, and I wanted to explain the current run. This game is a very small indie game, so go check them out on Steam. They have a demo for you to try the game before buying it on Steam. I may enjoy speedrunning this game, but I also enjoyed playing this game casually as well. And if you enjoyed this video and would like to see more in the future, why not like and subscribe? Thank you for wasting your time with me.